The day everything changed. Lina walked home slowly, her school bag heavy on her shoulder. The sky was gray, and a cold wind blew through the empty streets. She had a strange feeling in her chest, something she couldn't explain. Usually she loved coming home to the smell of her mother cooking dinner, but today everything felt wrong. When she opened the door, the house was quiet. Too quiet. The usual warmth, the sound of her mother humming in the kitchen was gone. Lina called out, "Mom, I'm home." Her voice echoed through the empty rooms, but there was no answer. She dropped her bag and walked inside, her heart beating faster. Every step she took felt heavier than the last. The living room was just as she had left it in the morning. The couch cushion slightly messy, the TV remote on the table. But something was off. The air felt colder, and shadows seemed to move where there shouldn't be any. Lina's hands trembled as she went to the kitchen. Plates were stacked in the sink, but there was no sign of her mother. The small clock on the wall ticked loudly, and Lina realized the sound made her feel even more alone. She whispered, "Mom, where are you?" Then she heard it, a soft whisper almost like the wind but clearer. "Stay one night." Lina froze. Her eyes scanned the room, but she saw no one. "Who's there?" she asked, her voice shaking. The whisper came again, faint but certain. "Stay. Forever." Her heart raced. The words were strange, almost like a promise and a warning at the same time. She wanted to run, to call someone, anyone, but her legs felt heavy like they belonged to someone else. Suddenly, a shadow moved at the corner of her eye. Lina turned quickly, but no one was there. The room felt smaller, the walls closer, and a strange hum filled her ears. She could feel something or someone watching her. Just then, a figure appeared in the doorway. Lina gasped. He was tall, with an unusual presence that made the air around him feel heavier. His face was partially hidden in shadows, but his eyes glowed faintly like distant stars. "Don't be afraid," he said softly, almost like he had been waiting for her. "I can help you. If you stay one night." Lina's mind raced. She wanted to run, scream, hide, but something about his voice made her pause. It was calm, but there was power in it. She felt drawn to him even though every instinct told her to run. Who are you?" she managed to ask. The figure smiled faintly. "I am someone who can show you what you have lost, and what you must protect, but you must trust me. Stay, just one night." Lina's hands shook and she looked around her house. Everything was normal, yet terrifying. She thought of her mother and the fear in her heart. What if something had happened to her? What if she was gone forever? The figure took a step closer, his shadow stretching across the floor. "Time is short. Decide quickly." Lina swallowed hard. She didn't know why, but she felt she had no choice. She nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll stay." The figure's eyes glowed brighter for a moment, and the hum in the room grew louder. Lina felt a chill run down her spine, but also a strange sense of safety, as if this unknown being was protecting her from something she couldn't see. The lights flickered, and the room seemed to shift. Shadows twisted, and the air smelled faintly metallic, like something from another world. Lina clutched her arms to herself, trying to stay calm, but her mind raced with questions. What are you?" she whispered again. The figure bent slightly, his voice a soft murmur. "I am here to guide you, to help you find her." Lina realized he meant her mother. Her heart ached at the thought, and a tear rolled down her cheek. "Please, don't let anything happen to her," she pleaded. The figure's glowing eyes met hers. "I won't, if you trust me completely. One night is all I ask. After that, everything will change." The hum grew louder, filling every corner of the house. Shadows moved as if alive, and Lina could feel the world shifting around her. The house she had known all her life felt strange and alien now. She nodded again, more firmly this time. She didn't know what she was stepping into, but she knew she had to try. As the figure reached out a hand, Lina took it. The air shimmered and the lights flickered one last time. For a moment, everything was still. Then slowly, the house began to transform, and Lina felt herself being pulled into something far beyond her understanding. Somewhere deep inside, a voice whispered, her mother's voice, calling her name. And Lina knew this night would be unlike anything she had ever experienced. The stranger in the shadows. The house no longer felt like home. Every corner Lina looked at seemed strange, almost alive. Shadows shifted in ways that made her stomach twist. She held tightly to the stranger's glowing hand, unsure if it was her fear or the pull of his presence that made her stay. Where Where are we going? Lina asked, her voice barely above a whisper. To the place where you will understand, he replied, his voice calm but filled with a strange authority. The answers you seek about your mother are not here. He led her down a narrow hallway she had never noticed before. A wall that had always been solid now shimmered faintly like liquid glass. The stranger touched it and the surface rippled before parting to reveal a hidden room bathed in soft glowing light. Lina's eyes widened. The room was filled with machines unlike anything she had ever seen. Screens floated midair, showing images she could barely comprehend. Strange worlds, swirling lights and symbols that moved like living things. The air smelled faintly of metal and something sweet, almost like flowers. What is all this? She asked, stepping closer. Her fear battled her curiosity. This is where the truth waits, the stranger said. Your mother, she is not lost. She has been taken, trapped in a place that exists between worlds. Only you can reach her. Lina's heart raced. Trapped? How, why? The stranger shook his head slowly. There are forces beyond your world. They do not play by the rules, you know. But you have a chance, Lina. A small window, one night, to follow the path and bring her back. He moved to a console that floated in the center of the room. With a gesture, the screen shifted, showing images of her mother. Lina gasped. Her mother was standing in a strange landscape, the sky swirling with colors she had never seen, and shadows creeping around her. She looked scared, but she was alive. She's there? Lina whispered, tears filling her eyes. I have to save her. Yes, the stranger said, but you must be careful. The path is not easy. Not everything you see is real. Some things will try to stop you, to trick you, to make you turn back. Lina nodded, gripping his hand tightly. Fear still churned in her stomach, but determination burned brighter. She would save her mother. She had to. Before we go, the stranger said, you need to understand this. I can guide you, but I cannot protect you from your own choices. You must decide what is right, and what is necessary. What do you mean? Lina asked, confused. There will be moments when you will want to turn back, when it will seem safer to run. Those moments are dangerous. They are the tests. You must keep going. You must stay. Lina's mind spun. She had never faced anything like this. Her mother, trapped in another world. A stranger leading her through alien machines and glowing lights, and shadows that seemed to breathe. Yet deep inside she felt a strange calm. She could trust him, even if she didn't fully understand why. Suddenly, the stranger turned to her, his eyes glowing brighter. There is one more thing. What? She asked, fear and curiosity mixing. The whispers you heard, they are not just warnings. They are promises. You will hear them again. They will guide you and try to mislead you. Remember, Lina, the world you know is only a layer. Beneath it lies something far older, far more dangerous, and your mother is caught in the middle. Lina swallowed hard. The hum of the machine seemed to grow louder, wrapping around her like a living thing. Her heart pounded. She wanted to ask more, but words failed her. Instead, she nodded. She was ready, as ready as she could be. The stranger extended his hand again. Step forward, Lina. The portal awaits. Once you cross it, there is no turning back until you find her, or lose her forever. Lina hesitated for a moment. The fear was immense. She imagined stepping into a world she did not understand, leaving the safety of her home behind. But then she saw her mother's face on the screens, frightened, calling her silently, and the hesitation vanished. With a deep breath, Lina took a step forward. The air shimmered around her, the lights of the machines bending and twisting. A low hum filled her ears and her body felt weightless, as if she were being lifted by invisible hands. The stranger whispered, Remember, Lina, trust yourself, but trust me as well. The path is darker than you imagine, but the light you seek is real. Do not turn away. Lina felt a strange warmth fill her chest as the room dissolved around her. The walls, the machines, the shadows, all melted into a swirling vortex of light and color. Her vision blurred, and the last thing she heard was the stranger's calm voice guiding her. Step forward, Lina, and face what awaits. She closed her eyes, feeling herself falling or perhaps flying into the unknown. And then silence. When Lina opened her eyes again, she was no longer in her house. The air was different, filled with strange scents and sounds. The sky above swirled with colors she couldn't name. The ground beneath her feet felt soft, almost alive. Somewhere in the distance she could hear her mother's voice calling, faint but unmistakable. And Lina knew, deep in her heart, that nothing would ever be the same again. Whispers of the lost. Lina's eyes slowly opened. The world around her was unlike anything she had ever seen. The sky swirled with colors that shifted like liquid, blues melting into purples, purples into silver. The ground beneath her feet was soft but firm, almost like walking on living clouds. She blinked, trying to take it all in, but every second she stayed still, the more the air seemed to hum with a strange energy. "Mom," she whispered, her voice trembling. Her heart ached at the thought of her mother, trapped somewhere beyond her reach. A faint voice answered, distant but unmistakable. Lina's mother was calling her, and the sound gave Lina courage, even as fear gripped her chest. The stranger appeared beside her, silent as a shadow. "This world is not what it seems," he said softly. "It will test you, Lina. You will hear voices, some guiding, some deceiving. Trust your heart, but stay alert." Lina nodded, gripping his hand tightly. She didn't understand fully, but she knew he was right. The world around her seemed alive, responding to her thoughts and fears. Shadows danced at the edge of her vision, whispering words she couldn't fully hear. Sometimes they called her name, sometimes they hissed warnings. "Follow me," the stranger said, and they began walking across the soft, shifting ground. Each step felt like moving through water, though the air around them was clear and still. Shapes appeared in the distance, tall, thin creatures with glowing eyes watching silently from afar. Lina's heart pounded. Were they dangerous? Were they part of the test? She didn't know. As they moved deeper into the alien landscape, Lina saw visions flicker in the colors of the sky. She saw her mother, trapped behind a strange barrier, reaching out but unable to move. Lina's chest tightened. "I'll get you, Mom," she whispered fiercely, her hands clenching into fists. The stranger's eyes glowed softly. "These visions are both warnings and clues. Pay attention. Not everything is real, but some things are. You must learn to see the difference." Suddenly, the ground beneath Lina shifted violently. She stumbled but was caught by the stranger's hand. Around them, the shadows grew longer, twisting into shapes that whispered fear into her mind. "You will fail. Turn back. Leave her behind." Lina shook her head, pushing the voices away. "No," she shouted. "I won't give up. I have to save her." The whispers faltered, then receded, leaving a tense silence. Lina realized that the voices reacted to her fear and doubt. Her determination was her weapon, even more powerful than the stranger's guidance. They walked for what felt like hours, though time seemed meaningless in this world. Lina's feet grew tired, but the sound of her mother's voice kept her moving. Sometimes the voice was faint, sometimes almost clear, but it always reminded her of what she was fighting for. Then, they reached a shimmering river of light. It flowed with colors she couldn't name, and small sparks rose from its surface, floating into the sky. The stranger stopped at the edge. "The path forward is across the river," he said. "But it will show you what you fear most. Only by facing it will you continue." Lina swallowed hard. Her mind immediately conjured images of failure, her mother disappearing forever, the stranger revealing he was not her ally, the shadows consuming her. She shivered, but she knew she had no choice. She took a deep breath, feeling the hum of the world around her, and stepped into the river. The moment her feet touched the light, visions flooded her mind. She saw herself trapped alone while her mother suffered endlessly. The shadows whispered louder now, trying to break her resolve. Lina's knees buckled, but she forced herself forward. "I will not fail. I will save her," she repeated silently. The river's light seemed to recognize her determination. The visions shifted, showing glimpses of her mother reaching out with hope instead of fear. Lina smiled through her tears, feeling a surge of courage. She could do this. She could survive the tests. She would find her mother. On the other side of the river, the stranger waited. "Well done," he said quietly. "Many turn back here. Few make it through, but you are strong." Lina looked at him, exhausted but determined. "Where is she?" "My mother." The stranger's glow dimmed slightly, as if contemplating how much to reveal. "She is close. But the next step is harder. You will face illusions, things that look real but are not. You must not be fooled. Listen to her voice, Lina. It is the thread that will guide you." The wind swirled around them, carrying faint whispers. Lina closed her eyes, focusing on the voice she knew, her mother calling, her love giving Lina strength. With a deep breath, she opened her eyes and took the next step forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. And somewhere deep in the shifting colors of the world, a shadow watched, waiting for her to make a mistake. The door that shouldn't exist. The alien world stretched endlessly before Lina, a landscape of shimmering light and strange floating islands. Every step felt heavier than the last, as if the world itself were testing her determination. Shadows danced at the edges of her vision, twisting into shapes that seemed almost human, almost real, but then vanished when she looked directly at them. "Stay close," the stranger whispered, his eyes glowing faintly. "The path is dangerous, and not all doors lead where you want." Lina nodded, though her curiosity burned brighter than her fear. She had followed his guidance through whispers, visions, and illusions, and each step brought her closer to her mother. But now a sense of unease wrapped around her like a cold fog. The air was thick, almost alive, humming with energy that made her skin tingle. Ahead on a cliff of glowing stone, she saw it. A door. It hovered in midair, framed by light that pulsed like a heartbeat. It wasn't attached to any wall, no building, no structure. It shouldn't exist. Yet there it was, shimmering and inviting, as if waiting just for her. "That door," Lina said, her voice trembling. It's real?" The stranger stepped beside her, his gaze steady. "Real enough. But beware. This door shows what you desire most and what you fear most. It can trick your mind, lure you into illusions, and steal your courage. Only those who are certain of themselves can pass through." Lina took a deep breath, feeling the hum of the world beneath her feet. The door seemed to pulse in time with her heart. She thought of her mother, trapped, scared, calling for her. Every doubt, every whisper of fear that had haunted her melted away. She had to pass through. She had no choice. The moment she reached out, a ripple ran through the air. The door's surface shifted, showing scenes from her life. Her mother smiling, her childhood home, friends she had lost, even herself sitting alone in fear. Lina's breath caught. Every memory, every longing was there, tempting her to stop, to step back, to turn away. But Lina clenched her fists. "No," she whispered. "I'm not afraid. I will find her." The door's glow flickered, and the whispers returned, louder now, twisting and curling around her mind. "Turn back, leave her. It's too dangerous." "I won't," Lina shouted. Her voice rang out firm and strong. The whispers faltered, then dissolved into the hum of the world. Lina felt a surge of confidence. She was ready. She could face anything for her mother. The stranger nodded approvingly, then stepped forward. "Remember, the world beyond may not be what it seems. Keep your heart steady and trust what you know to be true." Lina took a deep breath and stepped through the door. The world shifted violently. Colors blurred, shapes twisted, and gravity seemed to lose meaning. She felt herself falling, spinning, weightless in a void of light and shadow. The voices returned for a moment, mocking, warning, trying to break her resolve, but she focused only on her mother's voice, calling to her through the chaos. And then, suddenly, she landed. The ground beneath her was solid, though glowing faintly like molten glass. The sky above was a swirl of deep purple and gold, casting everything in an eerie, beautiful light. In the distance, she saw a figure, her mother. She was trapped behind a barrier of shimmering energy, reaching out, her eyes wide with fear and hope. Lina ran toward her, but the barrier seemed to pulse, pushing her back with invisible force. Shadows appeared along the edges of the barrier, dark, twisting shapes that whispered threats and promises. Lina stopped, her chest heaving. The stranger's voice came softly from behind her. "The barrier feeds on fear, Lina. You must face it without doubt. Only love and determination will let you reach her." Lina clenched her fists and closed her eyes. She thought of all the times her mother had comforted her, guided her, and protected her. She felt the warmth of that love, stronger than any fear, stronger than any shadow. Slowly, she opened her eyes, and the barrier began to shimmer differently, less threatening, almost responding to her courage. Step by step, she moved forward, ignoring the shadows and whispers. Her mother's hands pressed against the shimmering wall, reaching for her. Lina's heart ached, and she whispered, "I'm here, Mom, I won't leave you." Suddenly, a shadow lunged from the corner of her vision, black and formless, trying to push her back. Lina stumbled but didn't fall. She shouted, "I am not afraid." The shadow recoiled, hissing, then vanished into the glowing ground. The stranger appeared beside her. "Well done, Lina. You are closer than anyone has ever been. But the final test awaits. Be ready." Lina looked at her mother, eyes wide with hope. She could almost touch her. The barrier shimmered, reacting to her courage. But the stranger's words echoed in her mind. The final test awaits. The alien world pulsed around them, alive and watching. Shadows shifted, light danced, and the hum of energy grew louder. Lina took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the next challenge pressing down on her. She was ready, or as ready as she could ever be, to face whatever lay beyond the door that shouldn't exist. Chasing shadows. Lina's heart pounded as she stared at the shimmering barrier holding her mother captive. The alien world around her pulsed with strange energy, shadows twisting and shifting at the edge of her vision. Every sound, the hum of the ground, the whispers carried by the wind, felt alive, watching her, testing her resolve. "We must move carefully," the stranger said softly, appearing beside her. "The closer you get, the stronger the illusions become. The shadows will try to trick you, to make you doubt everything." Lina nodded, though her fear still churned in her stomach. She had come so far, and she could almost touch her mother. Nothing could stop her now. As she stepped forward, the ground beneath her quivered, and shadows stretched across the glowing land like living hands. Whispers swirled around her, calling her name, urging her to turn back. "You can't save her. She is gone." "I am not afraid," Lina shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. The shadows recoiled slightly, but new ones emerged, taller, darker, more threatening. They moved faster, lunging at her from every angle. Lina dodged and weaved, her eyes fixed on the shimmering barrier ahead. Suddenly, the ground beneath her cracked, and a wave of darkness surged up, trying to swallow her. She stumbled, but the stranger's hand shot out, steadying her. "Trust your courage, Lina. Fear is their weapon. Do not let them control you." Lina took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of her mother's love echo in her heart. With renewed determination, she pushed forward, ignoring the shadows that hissed and screamed. Each step made the barrier shimmer more brightly, almost as if her courage was weakening its power. But then, the shadows changed. They no longer attacked directly. They took the forms of people Lina knew, friends, teachers, even herself, smiling and calling her back. "Come home, it's too dangerous. Leave her." Lina froze, her mind clouded for a moment by doubt. But then she heard her mother's voice, clear and strong, cutting through the illusion. "Lina, I'm here. Don't stop." Her eyes widened. "Mom," she shouted, shaking her head to clear the illusions. The shadowy figures around her screamed and faded, replaced by the glowing light of the barrier. Lina felt her confidence swell, stronger than any fear. She was almost there. The stranger pointed ahead. "The final stretch. You must move quickly. The shadows grow stronger when they sense hope. They will try one last time to stop you." Lina's legs burned as she ran, every step resonating with determination. The shadows lunged again, darker and faster than before. She ducked and weaved, dodging tendrils of darkness that tried to wrap around her. Each time she stumbled, she forced herself up, thinking only of her mother's outstretched hands. Finally, she reached the edge of the barrier. It pulsed violently, as if resisting her presence. The shadows screamed in a chorus of hate and fear, swirling around her like a storm. Lina gritted her teeth. "I will not fail," she yelled. The barrier shimmered, then began to crack, responding to her courage. Light burst through the fractures, and Lina felt a surge of energy flow through her. She stepped closer, ignoring the tendrils of darkness that lashed at her feet. Her mother's hands reached through the light, almost within her grasp. But then one shadow lunged faster than the rest, forming a dark hand that tried to block Lina. She staggered, but remembered the stranger's words. "Trust your courage. Fear is their weapon." Lina focused all her strength on the warmth of her mother's love. The shadow screamed and dissolved into nothingness. She reached out, hands trembling, and her fingers brushed her mother's. The barrier flickered violently, and for a moment Lina thought it might close forever. But she held on, squeezing her mother's hands tightly. "It's okay, Mom. I'm here," Lina cried. Her mother's eyes filled with tears, and a soft smile spread across her face. The barrier shattered completely, the glowing fragments dissolving into light. The shadows vanished, leaving the alien landscape eerily calm. Lina pulled her mother close, hugging her tightly. "I thought I'd lost you forever," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Her mother held her, voice trembling. "I never stopped hoping. I knew you would come." The stranger stepped back, watching silently. "You have done well, Lina," he said quietly. "You have faced the shadows and followed your heart. But remember, the path does not end here. The journey may be over for now, but the world you have entered is full of challenges yet unseen. Lina nodded, still holding her mother close. She knew he was right. The shadows had been defeated, but the alien world was far from ordinary. It was alive, dangerous, and unpredictable. And somewhere deep in the distance she could feel the presence of something else, watching, waiting. For now, though, Lina had her mother. And that was all that mattered. As they began to move away from the shattered barrier, Lina glanced around the glowing landscape. The shadows were gone, but the air still hummed with energy, the colors shifting and pulsing. She knew the stranger was right. The final test might not be over, and danger still lurked in corners unseen. But with her mother safe, Lina felt stronger than ever. She had faced the impossible, conquered her fear, and reached the one person she loved most in the world. And somewhere deep in the alien sky, a shadow stirred, whispering, "This is only the beginning, the choice of forever." The alien sky above them shimmered with swirling colors as Lina held her mother close. The shattered barrier that had trapped her was gone, but the air still thrummed with energy, as if the world itself were alive and watching. Shadows no longer chased them, yet Lina felt a tension in her chest that refused to fade. Something was coming, something she could sense but could not see. The stranger appeared beside her, quiet and calm. His glowing eyes reflected the alien sky. "You've come far, Lina, but now, the ultimate choice awaits." Lina looked at him, her brow furrowed. "Choice? What do you mean?" "My mother is free. Isn't she?" The stranger shook his head slowly. "She is free from the barrier, yes. But the world she is in, it is not yours. She cannot leave it unless a decision is made. You have two paths. One, bring her back with you, but the cost is that she may never truly belong here or there. Two, remain in this world with her, leaving your old life behind, possibly forever." Lina's stomach twisted. "Forever? What do you mean?" "You must understand," the stranger said softly. "This world does not follow the rules of your world. To take her fully with you may break her, or worse, destroy the bond between you. To stay means leaving everything you know, never returning to your home or the life you once had. The choice is yours." Time is short, Lina's mind spun. She thought of her home, the streets she walked daily, the warmth of her bed, the memories of her friends. And then she looked at her mother. The fear, the longing, the relief in her eyes. Her mother had survived, but only because Lina had dared to face every shadow, every illusion, every whisper. "Mom," Lina whispered, tears filling her eyes. Her mother's hands trembled in hers, and she squeezed them tightly. "I don't want to lose you again." "You won't," her mother said softly. "Whatever choice you make, I trust you." The alien world seemed to respond to Lina's emotions. Light rippled beneath their feet, casting reflections of possibilities. Scenes of them together in her home, laughing and safe, and scenes of them exploring the alien lands, free, but with no way back. Shadows flickered at the edge of each vision, hinting at the dangers and the unknowns of each choice. Lina's heart ached. "If I take you back, could you survive? Could we be safe?" The stranger stepped closer. "It is uncertain. This world touches your reality in ways you do not understand. If you try to take her out, there will be risks. You may succeed or fail, but if you stay, you will be together. Yet all you have known will be gone forever. Only you can decide which path is right." Tears ran freely down Lina's face. Her mother's hand held hers, warm and steady. "Whatever you choose, Lina, I am with you," she whispered. Lina's mind raced. She thought of her childhood, of the life she had lived, of the people she loved. But then she felt the pull of the world around her, the beauty, the danger, the life she had fought so hard to enter. She thought of the shadows, the illusions, the whispers, all designed to test her courage. And she realized her courage was not just about reaching her mother. It was about deciding what mattered most: love, safety, or adventure. "I don't know if I can leave this world," Lina admitted, trembling. It feels alive. But I can't leave home. I can't leave my life completely behind." The stranger nodded. "That is why the choice is yours alone. Listen to your heart, Lina. The path will open when you are certain. Hesitation can lead to loss." She closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She felt the warmth of her mother's hand, the pull of her old life, and the strange hum of this alien world. She thought of the courage it took to come this far, to face the shadows, to trust herself. And then she knew. Opening her eyes, Lina looked at the stranger. I will take her home, but I will protect her no matter what it takes. I choose to bring her with me. The stranger's eyes glowed brighter for a moment, then dimmed. Very well. Then focus, Lina. The world will test you one final time. You must step forward together or risk losing her forever. The alien energy around them surged, light bending and twisting. Shadows returned, but this time they were fierce and numerous. They clawed at Lina, trying to separate her from her mother, testing her resolve. Lina felt the pull of fear but gripped her mother tightly. "We're together," she shouted. "Nothing can break us apart." The shadows hissed and lunged, but Lina's courage and love created a shield of warmth around them. The stranger raised his hand and the energy swirled, guiding Lina and her mother toward a glowing portal that had appeared in the distance. "This is it," he said softly. "Step through and your choice will be made." There is no turning back. Hand in hand, Lina and her mother ran toward the portal. The shadows shrieked, swirling in anger, but could not touch them. Step by step, they approached the light, hearts pounding, minds racing, knowing this moment would define everything. Finally, Lina leapt forward, pulling her mother with her. The world around them dissolved into brilliant white light. For a heartbeat, everything was weightless, timeless, and infinite, and then they were home. Lina opened her eyes, gasping. Her mother was there, safe, real, and smiling. The familiar sights, sounds, and smells of their world surrounded them. Tears streamed down both their faces. "We made it," Lina whispered, hugging her mother tightly. "Yes," her mother replied, holding her close. "Thanks to you, we're together again." The stranger's voice echoed softly, fading into the light. "You chose well, Lina. But remember, the world you entered will always exist, and its lessons will stay with you. Courage, love, and determination can open doors. Even when the shadows return." Lina nodded silently, still holding her mother. She had faced the impossible, made the ultimate choice, and won. And though the memory of the alien world lingered, she knew one thing for certain. Love had guided her through every shadow, every test, and every whisper. "Stay forever." Lina opened her eyes and gasped. She was back home. The familiar walls of her room, the soft glow of her bedside lamp, and the comforting smell of her mother's cooking filled her senses. She turned, and there her mother stood, real, alive, and smiling, tears glimmering in her eyes. "We're home," Lina whispered, hugging her tightly. Her heart pounded with relief and disbelief. After everything, after the shadows, the illusions, and the alien world, they were finally together. Safe. For a few moments, everything was perfect. Lina closed her eyes, letting the warmth of home and the presence of her mother wash over her. But deep in the back of her mind, a shadow lingered, a faint memory of the glowing world, the whispers, and the stranger who had guided her. Then she heard it. A whisper. Soft, low, yet unmistakable. "Stay forever." Lina froze. The words were familiar, echoing from the moment the stranger had first appeared. She turned quickly, but the room was empty. Her mother's hand on hers was warm and real, yet the whisper seemed to come from everywhere at once, wrapping around her like a cold breeze. What was that?" Lina asked, her voice trembling. Her mother frowned. "I didn't hear anything." "Are you all right?" Lina swallowed hard, trying to shake off the unease. "I think it's just my imagination. After everything, maybe I'm still scared." But the whisper came again, louder this time, curling around her thoughts. "Stay, forever." Panic rose in her chest. Was it the alien world calling her back? Was it a trick? She had fought so hard to return, to save her mother, to come home, and yet something tugged at her from the edges of reality, something that refused to let go. Suddenly, a faint shimmer appeared in the corner of her room, a ripple in the air like heat waves dancing in the sunlight. Lina's eyes widened. The stranger. He had returned. "Lina," his voice echoed softly, almost gentle, almost comforting. "You've made your choice, but the world you entered has not forgotten you. It lingers and it waits." Lina shook her head. "No, I chose to bring her home. We're safe. You said it was done." The stranger's glowing eyes softened. "Safe for now. But some doors, once opened, do not fully close. You carry the world inside you, the courage, the fear, the whispers. It is a part of you. Forever." Lina felt a shiver crawl up her spine. The memories of the glowing sky, the barriers, the shadows, they were no longer just memories. They were alive in her mind, echoing with every heartbeat. She glanced at her mother, whose warm smile gave her courage, and realized the truth. The choice had saved her mother, but it had also left a trace of the alien world behind. "What do you want from me?" Lina asked, her voice firm despite the fear gripping her. "To remind you," the stranger said softly, stepping closer, "that courage and love can defy shadows. But some shadows never disappear. They wait for the moment you falter. The world you know now, it is yours to protect, but the whispers may return. Stay vigilant." Lina's pulse raced. She tightened her grip on her mother's hand. "I won't let anything take her from me again. No shadows, no world, nothing." The stranger nodded once, a faint smile flickering across his face. "Good, but remember this, some doors never fully close. The choice you made has consequences beyond your understanding. You are stronger, but the world will test you again." Before Lina could ask more, he dissolved into a shimmer of light, leaving only the faint echo of his voice behind. The room returned to normal, the shadows gone, the whispers silenced. For now, Lina sank onto her bed, holding her mother close. Her heart still pounded, a mix of relief and lingering fear. She knew the alien world had changed her, made her stronger, braver, and more aware of what she could endure. And though the whispers had vanished, she could not shake the feeling that the stranger's words were true. Outside, the night was quiet. The stars twinkled normally, but Lina knew the universe was far larger and stranger than she had ever imagined. Somewhere beyond the skies she could see, doors waited to be opened, shadows waited to return. But inside her room, holding her mother close, Lina felt the warmth of love, courage, and hope. She had faced the impossible and won. She had chosen. She had saved the one she loved most. And as she drifted into a restless but peaceful sleep, a faint whisper brushed her ear one last time. "Stay, forever." Lina smiled softly in her dreams, knowing that no matter what, she had the strength to face whatever came next.